Hello, this is Tessa-Marie from the Five Pillars of Prosperity YouTube channel, where you will learn the answers to life's true happiness and success. Today, I'm going to share with you a story about a family of four. The young mother met me at a church function where I was giving a talk on finances and how you should manage your finances if you want to live a fulfilled life. After the end of the seminar, she came to me and asked me if I would help her, she and a few others. But she was the one that stuck. She stayed. She did come to talk to me, and we made an arrangement to meet the following week. I told her that she should come with all her bills, every single bill, and a nice big notebook, thick with lots of pages. And I said to her, at the beginning of the notebook, before she comes to see me, she has to tell me 5 things that they desire to have in their life and where they are on their financial journey and where they would like to be. So she was on time, she showed up, and I started working with her. She spoke about her husband, and I looked at the total amount of debt at the time. It was closer to 80,000 when I think of it now. But the husband wasn't in the picture in the beginning. And I never really force anybody or push or say, your husband should be here. Because if we want to change, we have to show people the change. We cannot teach them to change or force them to change. And I did not want this young lady to go home and have a fight with her husband about, oh, you should come to this with me. We're really going to get this fixed. No. So I just kept working with her. And I realized she would teach him by he observing what she was doing. So anyway, it took a while. 7 years we worked together. And the husband did come about a year after. And he was just as shy as her. And the mess they were in really wasn't their fault, you see. It was nobody taught them. And some people along the way took advantage of them. For example, the person who sold them the town home in which they were living got them to what we call a B lender. A B lender is not one of the major banks, and their rates are higher. So already you're tight, and the rates are higher, and these people are putting you in a tighter position. So that's what the position they were in. So they were using debt from one area, credit card to pay another credit card, lines of credit. And you all know, if you are using credit a lot and just paying the minimum, you are a cash cow to the financial institutions because they can count on you always meeting your minimum payment. You'll never be out of debt, and they will always be making money. So that's the situation they were in. They had 2 children, a son and a daughter. And he had a self-employed small business. So it was a tightrope. And it was, to hear her talk about it, maybe one day, she will talk about it. She said she will. You would be amazed to see how it was. It was her book. When we listed all the debts and we listed all the money coming in, it was, I swear at the moment, I thought I had to be a magician because I just didn't understand what we were going to do when I looked at it. But when we studied it, I spoke to her, I saw the situation, I realized for them, it was getting control of the debt machine. They never stop using debt. And they used all their money to pay the debt. And they were making payments, but there was no room for movement. If somebody sneezed and broke a leg, it would not be nice. So a vacation was uncharged. And then they had to pay for it. And they kept doing that. You have children, you must give them some entertainment. You have a family, you must eat. So anyway, we formed a plan for her and her family. And then the husband came along, and he would sit there and watch us work on this thing. And he would put a little bit in. And the thing that was not good in that financial plan, there were 2 financial streams. So that means he handled certain things and she handled certain things. But nobody came together. So it's like you had 2 things going parallel and nobody is coming to the point where they get together as one. So I had to draw them in and let them know that each one must say what they're doing in support of the other. Otherwise, you will not get the financial future you so crave. So that was understood. So that meant they had to share the information. So he was paying the mortgage, but he didn't always pay it on time. And Harmony was doing some of the things, and she was able to jiggle it a little bit more because her money was permanently the same every 2 weeks, whereas he being self-employed, it had movements. So I had to teach them how to take the movements on his income and try to get an average. So when the income is high, the average flies. When the income is low, you still have the same type of average because you're spreading it even. So we continued on that process, and we got some of the debt paid. So as soon as a credit card or a line of credit was paid, and there were numerous, they were just mind-boggling. Every financial institution, and they had something from them. So, and then the department store. As you know, or if you don't know, a department store credit card starts at 30%. So if you do not pay the entire bill, it's 30% upon 30%. It's compound interest. You're paying interest on the interest, and that bill does not go down. So we got rid of those first by paying into them and stop the usage of the card. They had to stop cold turkey. No cash advances and no using those cards. There was no need to if they just made the payment and work with what they had. So they had to do a lot of stuff like checking into the house, seeing what they already had. Groceries was you buy from what you need. You shop at home first, then what you need, that's when you buy. So these things took place. And it took 7 years for us to get rid of this almost $80,000. But during that process of paying down the bills, I also incorporated a saving plan for various parts of their life. I realized they were big on family vacation. So I created a vacation account, or I asked her to open a special account at her institution that would be the family vacation account. The children had activities, so we had to have a children activity account. They had a home, so they needed to make sure that they had a maintenance account for the house, for the townhome, a maintenance account for the cars. And once these were placed, then they knew if something happened to a car or to the home, or the children needed some activity money, they knew where to go for it. And that continued. And of course, 18 months after working with me, they went on the first paid family vacation that they did not have to pay when they came back home. When she was flying back on the plane, just before she boarded the plane, she sent me an email. And she said, "This is to let you know that I'm sitting here and I'm shaking because I just realized this is the first time in all of our life that we're coming home from a family vacation and it is already paid for." And I just wanted to say, I'm so happy. So anyway, we continued with her. Journey was not over yet. They still had to do other things. We finally got all the debt paid. All the debt paid. And then they started saving for a better home, for a bigger home. So what they had to do, save money so that in the home maintenance account to do the renovation in the present home so they could put it on the market and get a good market value for it. They did that. They kept going on vacation. The children activities were always paid for. They got their stuff going and they were free. And the day there was not one revolving line or credit card available. And maybe I didn't say what a revolving credit is. A revolving credit has no end. A revolving credit, when I say revolving credit, it's a credit card or a line of credit. You pay it off and it's available to use again. You pay it off, and so you're in a circle, like you're spiraling, and there's no stop. And if you get caught in that hurricane or that typhoon, you know the results of that. So we got them out of that, and they were able to put money aside for what they needed to do, to the point they had a Christmas and birthday account. So anyway, this family had that house fixed. They sold that house, that townhouse, and they made them maybe about 700,000 or 800,000, something like that, in profit. And they were able to stand firmly and buy a $1.2 million home. And the bank gave them the rate for a big customer because they had no credit, no revolving credit. All they have now is that debt on the house, which is a $600,000 mortgage. But there's no other debt in their way. And they know now to save for the things they want. They know for sure that you cannot just swipe a card and get instant gratification. That puts you in a hole. And it's just like, you're digging a hole and you're standing where you're digging. Guess what? Certainly, as sure as the day follows night or whatever, you will find yourself not able to get out of that hole. So they know better now. And this is what I'm able to do for others. So I celebrated the success of this new home. They did really well. And on the weekend, she was at a seminar. And it's not because she needed the seminar, but she just wanted to know if there's something new that I can use it. She's so pumped. She shared with the other participants how far down they were financially and where they are now. So this is why, if you need that type of advice and guidance, it's not only giving you the advice and putting you on the road and say, here, go. I take you on the journey. I help you to understand the journey. I teach you how to enjoy the process of the journey. That when you get to that finish line, you do not have to wonder. You just know that you can continue and take the next step and go do something wonderful for yourself. So this is what I teach, and I hope and I pray that you learned something in this video. And if you would like to enjoy the journey of that family or do something for yourself and put yourself in a financial situation independently so that you can live a successful life and a fulfilled life, a life like that family where you own your own home. You go on more than one vacation a year. You are debt-free. They drive their cars of their choice, and they have money in a 401k and an RSP. So give me a call, DM me, send me an email, and I hope you enjoy this story. It's a true story. Have fun.